Hey, how's it going, guys? I am back with another video, and today I'm gonna just go through my Team of the Year predictions for Madden 20. I've got a list here on my computer, and I'm gonna kind of talk through them a bit like Gut Fox did, because I saw that he posted a video, and I was gonna try and put this out before anybody else did to try and beat the wave, but unfortunately he beat me to it. If you guys are new around here and you like what I do, if you want to see more of my content, don't forget to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it, and we're just gonna hop right into this list here. So the first kind of pick I have, quarterback, like almost always goes to the guy that was second place in the MVP voting. So I've got Russell Wilson as my pick for QB. Then second on the running back, I've decided to go with Derrick Henry. I think he's kind of clearly the running back choice for Team of the Year. He's, I think he leads in rushing touchdowns and rushing yardage, so I think he's just far and away the best selection for running back. For third down back, I went McCaffrey as my first pick, but he may very well get an Offensive Player of the Year card later down the road. So he may not be in the program, and I think if he isn't in the program, that's kind of saying that EA may know that like McCaffrey's going to get an awards card. So to counter that, if McCaffrey's not going to likely be in the promo, I put Kamara in there because he was the next running back that wasn't Austin Eckler with receptions, and I just don't think Eckler, given what his rating is right now, will get another card in the promo. For fullback, I put CJ Ham. I'm pretty sure CJ was the first team All-Pro fullback, if memory serves me correct. Or maybe I'm being silly, but I think he was one of the highest graded fullbacks in the league last year, or this year. So I think I'm going with him. He was the blocker for one of the guys who had a great season, Dalvin Cook. Very well could have been Dalvin Cook at the running back if he didn't get injured and kind of sit out those last two games. So I think CJ Ham's going to be the guy for fullback. Tight end, since Travis just got a card, and I think Travis would have gotten a Team of the Year card given him not getting his playoff card. I see no other tight end other than Kittle being kind of worthy of receiving that Team of the Year tight end nod. At wide receivers, I have Michael Thomas and Chris Godwin. These are two of the guys that I think led the league or were way up there in receiving yards that don't quite have their upgrades yet. Like Julio's got his. I think there's another guy. Let's go by yards here real quick. Like Julio's got his. Travis is up there. Like Devontae Parker could be a guy too, just for the season he had with the Dolphins down the stretch. But I don't know if they're gonna throw a Dolphin in there. Kenny Golladay is a guy that's also very deserving. Keenan as well. Like I could see any of those guys going, but I went with kind of the better of the bunch in Chris Godwin for yardage, and then for slot wide receiver, I kind of just went by touchdowns and just looked through guys that I kind of saw that would mostly play in the slot, and Cooper was by far the most prolific guy that plays mostly out of the slot. For guards and tackles and stuff, I kind of just went by All-Pro. The first team guys, for a lot of it, already have their upgrades. But the second team left tackle, which is Bakhtiari, he didn't have his. Quentin Nelson hasn't gotten an upgrade in a while, as well as Rodney Hudson. I think the guards are the first teamers, and then the second teamers are the rest of the line. So Hudson was the second team All-Pro center. Bakhtiari and Schwartz were second team All-Pros, and then Zach Martin and Quentin Nelson were first team All-Pro guards. So I think that's going to be kind of what we're looking at for guards. On the defensive side of the ball, we've got Joey Bosa. I was trying to find out kind of what left end did it best for like production and stuff, and like I don't know if Joey's gonna get a card. He just got a 92 back in Thanksgiving, but he very well could. I couldn't really find any other left end that might be worthy of a card, like stats wise, that I could actually like see. I'd have to look at Pro Football Focus grades on that, but I think there very well could be like a run stuffing left end that like I just can't. I wouldn't know if unless I had Pro Football Focus gradings to put above Bosa. But I think Bosa is going to be the left end. At right end, I have Donald and Graham, and this is kind of just because I don't know if they're going to be doing like the sub package guys again this year or not. So I'm kind of trying to factor in my position rankings as if they were. So I had Donald in at right end originally, but then I was looking through at rush defensive tackles, and I couldn't really find anyone that I would see going in. I just don't like, as much as I love Chris Jones and kind of a homer pick for me, and he has produced even though he's missed quite a few games this year. Like, I just don't know if they're going to put a guy who's only got 9 sacks into the team of the year. So I could very well see a guy like Brandon Graham, who's been pretty good at like run stuffing as well as pass rushing this year for the Eagles, in at right end, and just having Aaron Donald be the rush defensive tackle. So that's kind of why I have those switched around, and just kind of throwing some names at a dartboard and saying, like, I think, all three of those guys have a claim to be in here, but I'm leaning kind of more towards Graham Donald on that, and that's why I just put it in. But I wanted to keep my original picks in and kind of just leave it how it is. For defensive tackle, I chose DeForest Buckner. He was on the second team All-Pro, I'm pretty sure, as a DT, and I think all the other guys that preceded him had already gotten cards as far as defense. Well, I mean, Aaron's in. Cam just got a card, so I don't think Cam Hayward's going to be in there. And then on the second team, like, it's Grady Jarrett or him. I think just based off the season that the Falcons had versus the Niners, I think DeForest is much more likely to get a card, even though he does have the ultimate kickoff card. So we could see a Grady. I think we're much more likely to see a DeForest Buckner, though. For rush defensive end, I kind of went out of position for this one. That's something they did last year too, because Chris Jones was, I think, the rush DT but played right end. So I think we very well could see a card that's kind of like the rush defensive end, but he's actually a linebacker or another position. So I went with Zadarius Smith. I think one of the two Smiths on the Packers is bound to get a card for the seasons they had. Like, they both were kind of big for that Packers defense to help get the struggling Packers offense to the 13-3 or 12-4. 13-3 or 12-4 record that they did get to. So I think they very well will either find Preston Smith or Zadarius Smith in this promo. For left outside linebacker, I went with TJ Watt. Darius Leonard's also a guy that could possibly be getting a nod. I know he just got a card too. That's kind of what made me shy away from choosing Darius. But Darius, I think, was in the first team All-Pro for linebackers. And I know TJ Watt's in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. I don't think he's going to win it, which is why I feel kind of comfortable putting him in this list. And then for middle linebacker, I mean, it's always kind of a Bobby Wagner or Luke Kuechly award to be in the Team of the Year. I do think, kind of, again, just with the seasons, comparing the two teams and where they've gone and what they've done, I think it just makes more sense for Bobby to be in the Team of the Year since he's still playing and, kind of still relevant in current football as we move towards the Super Bowl. For right outside linebacker, I can't help but shake this feeling that either Chandler Jones or Shaquille Barrett will be wrongly excluded from this whole group. I'm leaning towards Chandler because I think he wound up leading the league in sacks this year, so I think Chandler's going to be the one that winds up in it, but I'm going to double check and make sure I'm not looking stupid right now, saying that he led the league in sacks, and actually it was Shaquille. Yes, Shaq led the league in sacks, so I'm a fucking idiot. So I think we'll reorganize these then. We'll just put Shaq right here and have Chandler Jones enjoy his time in second. But yeah, I can't help but have this feeling that one of those two guys just isn't going to make it on the team for no good reason. And then for sub linebacker, I kind of just went with another guy that was voted All-Pro. Mostly because the lead interception linebacker that wasn't like Darius Leonard was Joe Schobert, and I don't know if he's going to get into the team for a second straight year at the same position. So I don't think that's going to happen. So I just couldn't really decide on anything and just wound up going with a name you don't really see in a team that just stunned the Saints, and just go with that linebacker, that middle linebacker for them, and Eric Kendricks for the Vikings. stroking out. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think Eric Kendricks definitely deserves a Team of the Year nod if he got a first team All Pro nod. So I think we'll see a couple of Vikings, and there may be Vikings I'm not thinking of in this team. Like I know at free safety or strong safety, he has a what's it called? A Team of the Week limited card. I think we could very well see an Anthony Harris pop into the team as well as maybe an Everson Griffin or Danielle Hunter just got a playoffs card, but Danielle has been playing very well as well. For cornerbacks, I don't think Stephon Gilmore is going to be in this team. I think he very well will lock up and win Defensive Player of the Year, so I don't think we're going to be seeing him. So the other first team All-Pro DB was Tre'Davious White. And then the other DBs on the first team All-Pro were like all cards that we have recently gotten. Like Richard Sherman, Marcus Peters is on there on the second team. And we got like Gilmore and Tre'Davious, and then other defensive backs like Peters again, another card. We forgot Tyron and Marlon. So I have Marlon in there at slot corner. And then I just like Jair played very well for as far as like pass defenses go and stuff like that. For me, it's kind of a toss-up at that second corner position. I don't know who they could go with. There are a lot of guys that kind of just had mess seasons. So I think, we'll likely see a big name. I know Jair's kind of come onto the scene. They made him a superstar. So I think we could see him just go in there just for kind of like marketing purposes and kind of making their superstar X Factor choices look good. Then again, Marlon playing in a slot corner, he's had a great season. That Ravens defense really came on once Marcus came over, and I would have probably tapped Marcus for a Team of the Year card had they not given him a zero chill card. For free safety and strong safety, I actually went with really two guys that I think almost just transformed the defenses that they played for over the course of the season. Jamal Adams is also another player that I think very well could get or deserves a card. And I could really see here too, like Marlon coming up here as this corner, and then because Tyron's played a lot of slot corner for the Chiefs as the season's worn on with injuries and stuff, and he's just been stellar, so I could see them sneaking him in there as well. But we have Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's just, he just electrified that Steelers team after he joined it in that trade. He was a guy I was really hoping I'd see in the Chiefs uniform, but unfortunately the Steelers were able to coax away Minkah from the Dolphins because the Dolphins thought they were going to get a better draft pick out of the Steelers, which they did wind up getting, but he's just been electric. Like he has like 2 or 3 return touchdowns this year. Like he's been an insanely good addition to that Steelers team. And then for strong safety again, like the first team All-Pro, Jamal Adams, he's probably the best strong safety in the game right now, and he's definitely deserving of an upgrade. And I would definitely see him in this team, and wouldn't argue anything at all. But I think Tyrann Mathieu is someone that's kind of been criminally underrated. I'm very much with all the Chiefs fans out there that he's a big part for this transformation in this defense and really should be in Defensive Player of the Year conversations, but kind of someone that's flown under the radar for the most part. And I'd like to see him in Team of the Year. He's really played out of his mind this season. He's always good. But so I could really see, I'm probably going to say that Jamal is going to be the most likely pick for strong safety, but no, the homer in me is kind of hoping that Tyrann gets to make an appearance. And then for kicker and punter, as well as kick returner, last year they went off a kick percentage, which the leader in the league this year was Josh Lambo from the Jaguars. And then for punter, I don't think there is a better punter in the game right now than Brett Kern. And I think that was on full display wild card weekend with all the punts that, or I really should just say that one clutch punt that put the Patriots on the 1 and set up that pick 6. I don't think any punter does it better than him right now, and I think he'll probably be the Team of the Year kicker, or Team of the Year punter, my bad. And for kick returner, I think Deontay Harris of the Saints is probably the one that deserves it most. I don't know quite what the parameters were for last year's. I know Andre Roberts won it last year, and I don't know if they're going straight off a kick return average or just kick returning as a whole, both punts and kicks. I know Deontay Harris has been one of the best punt returners in the game, and I think as a guy who doesn't have a card in the game yet, I think he's very well deserving for what he's done. And I think to me it makes the most sense for him to get it. Again, Mecole was, I think, voted all pro second team, as well as like there's Cordarrelle Patterson at kick returner as well. So I could see any really of those three getting a nod. So like I'll write it in. So yeah, I could see any of those three getting a look in at Team of the Year as well if they'd go more of a kick returner route. I think Cordarrelle is probably the favorite for that, even though he did just get a new card. But I could see any of those three getting picked for the team. That's pretty much going to do it for my selections as far as Team of the Year goes. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about my picks. Maybe who you think's going to get in, if I'm just an idiot and don't know anything about what I'm talking about. But feel free to leave comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new. And I'll see you in the next one. Saying who that over there looking a whole snack? Oh, foot boy.